will just be very honest with you all. I'm going to be talking a lot about myself tonight, but I would not be standing here talking about myself without their support. They have just been the most amazing blessing and most wonderful team to work with. So I'm super grateful for them and just looking forward to the next 2 years. So I want you all to get to know a little bit about Gail Greene. I know a lot of people that are Pachyderm members have been wondering who I am and what I'm about, and I think it's a fair question. You might learn a little bit more about me than you want to, but that's okay. I went to college at the University of Mississippi, and I was a social work major and a Spanish minor, and I was a manager for the volleyball team. That is where, social work is where I developed my love and my learning about the foster care system, and we are a foster family also. We've had a foster child. Thank you. Well, after I graduated from college, I moved back to Texas, worked in social work for a couple of years, and also after that I became a history teacher and also worked at as a volleyball coach and a softball coach, so I have a love for sports. I went back to Ole Miss to coach volleyball camp, and that's where I met and fell in love with my husband, who is currently a women's soccer coach at Ole Miss. So from there, I stayed in school and got my graduate degree. I do have a master's degree in education with an emphasis in student personnel. And after I graduated, my husband and I moved to Nashville because he took a job at Belmont. And little did I know that I was in the perfect place to be a citizen activist, and I cannot believe that I didn't take advantage of it when I lived in Nashville. So I was an assistant director of admissions at a Catholic high school there, and then I became a stay-at-home mom as I started having children, and my husband took on a head coaching position in the SEC. So then, in 2020, I don't know if you guys remember this, but this thing called COVID happened. And right after the birth of my 5th child, she was born in October of 2019, and COVID happened, and really it thrust me into a world that I really didn't want to live in. A world where my family didn't have the ability to participate freely in society unless we gave up our right to a moral objection to vaccination. We were also kicked out of our local church when I refused to put masks on myself or my children in order to attend. In fact, a local bishop called my cell phone and asked me, how dare I disregard his orders? It turned our world upside down, and I knew I could never go back to being complacent again. My family's medical and religious freedom was too precious. I remember laying in bed and praying and begging God for another chance to protect these freedoms that I hold so dear, to never take them for granted again. I also remember reading Luke 18, the parable of the persistent widow. It goes something like this. Then Jesus told his disciples a parable to show them that they should always pray and not give up. He said, in a certain town, there was a judge who neither feared God nor cared about men. And there was a widow in that town who kept coming to him with the plea, grant me justice against my adversary. For some time he refused, but finally he said to himself, even though I don't fear God or care about men, yet because this widow keeps bothering me, I will see to it that she gets justice, so that she won't eventually wear me out with her coming. And the Lord said, listen to what the unjust judge says. And will not God bring about justice for his chosen ones who cry out to him day and night? Will he keep putting them off? I tell you, we will see that they get justice, and quickly. However, when the Son of Man comes, will he find faith on earth? So, I know everyone's takeaway may be different, but my key takeaway from this parable was that I must be persistent in prayer, but also in seeking justice. So even though we had just moved from Nashville to Chattanooga so that my husband could lead the Red Wolves Youth Academy, I started driving back to Nashville once a week. I needed to do something. I had to do something to make a difference. And I thought maybe getting to know my legislators and understanding the legislative process a little better would be a good way to start. I became very intentional about inserting myself into local politics, always dragging my kids along because I didn't have another choice. I honestly always thought I was a good Republican until Bo Watson invited me to the Lincoln Day dinner in 2021. And I learned that there was a whole world of clubs and attendance and reorganization conventions that I'd never heard of before. I started doing my homework and I became a member of the Chattanooga Republican Women. I was asked to be their legislative their legislative liaison, because since I was already going to the Capitol and driving there weekly, why not report back what I was learning and witnessing at the Capitol? This new role felt difficult for me because now I was responsible for reporting to other people what I learned rather than just advocating for my family and our personal values. With 5 young children at the time, an added responsibility stretched me, but I could sense the excitement in the room every time I would talk to our group about what I was personally witnessing at the Capitol, and when I would give them action items on how they could personally get involved and make a difference. So for the last 4 years, I've made the weekly drive to Nashville during the legislative session in hopes of making a small difference. Through this one act of faithfulness, God has opened so many doors. Door number 1, relationships. I have always tried to operate with honesty, integrity, and respect. I may not always agree with the way someone voted, but I have always tried to set up a meeting and discuss it with them. I think face-to-face discussions yield far more fruit than social media ever could. I never thought I would be able to send the Republican leader of the House a text message during a Civil Justice Committee hearing and actually have him ask the witness a question on my behalf. It was glorious. So, door number 2, personal legislation. I was honored that Bo Watson was willing to carry legislation for me after my family was discriminated against for our religious beliefs in the foster care setting. We were denied a newborn foster baby simply for refusing to get our own children the flu vaccine, not the foster baby, our own children. It was shocking, and Chairman Watson was amazing. He was a champion for my family, and I'm so grateful for that. He's actually carrying another piece of legislation for me this session that was brought to us by many concerned parents in Hamilton County. So, for those of you who may have heard or may be even saying that I'm planning to replace all of our elected officials, I would just like to go on the record and say that is not true. Door number 3, grassroots involvement and trust. Because of my work at the Capitol and the relationships I've fostered, not just with legislators, but with other citizen lobbyists across the state, people know they can count on me to find accurate, trustworthy information. They come to me with problems, questions, issues they might be having in their own community. I've made it a practice to always do my research on a bill or an issue before I condemn anyone's vote or speak out on an issue. I typically try to stay in my lane and focus on the things I care about and ideas where I know I can make a difference. Which leads me to where I am today. Standing before you as an overwhelmed wife, mother, citizen lobbyist, and now county chairwoman. The last role having stretched me far beyond what I thought I was capable of. In fact, I'm pretty sure that I got less than 5 hours of sleep last night and changed no less than 5 diapers while trying to write this speech. Why am I telling you this? Well, because I want you to know that if I, a stay-at-home mother of 6 children under the age of 14, could become a persistent widow in our county and to our state legislature, so can you. If I can remain vigilant and faithful to do one thing a week that I know will make a difference, so can you. I am not a politician. You do not have to be a politician to get involved and make a difference in your community. You just have to be willing to show up and get involved. To those of you who have been here for years, carrying the torch and supporting our elected officials, thank you. Thank you. To those of you who are attending your first Pachyderm meeting tonight, thank you for showing up. My team and I are really excited and grateful for the opportunity to lead Hamilton County Republican Party in a fresh, new way. We want to come alongside those of you who have been here for years and say thank you. We're here to help. We also want to come alongside those of you who may be feeling like your values and ideals are in jeopardy of being destroyed by the progressive left and say, hey, we're here for you too. Pull up a chair and let's talk about it. For the next 2 years, we want to make sure there is no question about where the Republican Party in Hamilton County stands. Because when we leave a void, the Democrats will be there to step into it. So, I would like to share with you some of, not my goals, but our goals for the next 2 years. We would envision a county where conservative values flourish with Republicans leading and actively shaping our future. Goal number 1, to build a strong conservative grassroots network. We want to build a meaningful HCGOP membership structure that delivers value, fosters ownership, and offers clear opportunities to contribute, connect, and lead. We want to host HCGOP meetings across the county that unite Republicans, encourage input, and drive local action. We want to effectively challenge Democrat strongholds across the county, including Red Bank. Goal number 2, we want to increase transparency and accountability. We will provide financial summaries so that our members can see how funds are raised and spent. We want to equip Republicans with clear legislative updates, calls to action, and we will hold elected officials accountable to conservative values. Goal number 3, recruit and train strong conservative candidates. We need to ready strong conservative candidates for county and city elections through campaign training and an army of volunteers. We want to conduct voter education campaigns, including outreach to young families and first-time voters to grow a multi-generational conservative electorate. Goal number 4, we want to secure election integrity and strengthen Republican primaries. We want to advocate for legislation to eliminate Democrat crossover voting in Republican primaries.
Yes.
We would also like to train and deploy an army of Republican poll watchers for each election cycle. And finally, goal number 5, we will defend life and the Second Amendment.
Yes.
We will partner with leading pro-life and gun rights organizations to amplify advocacy and influence key legislation. We will take clear stands supporting strong legislation and opposing every effort, large or small, that undermines life or chips away at our Second Amendment rights. So, those are the goals that I wanted to share with you for the next 2 years, and I hope it won't just be the next 2 years. I hope it will be for much longer. But I believe, I truly believe that each one of us has a persistent widow inside of us. And just because my persistent widow came out because of COVID doesn't mean that's going to happen to everyone. But I just really believe that if each one of us, whatever it is that we care about, that we're passionate about, if we can pick an issue, pick something that you know that you can make a difference and work on, we can do great things over the next 2 years, over the next 5 years, over the next 10 years. Right now, I need everyone to get out their phone. I have something that I need all of you to do. It's very important, so please take out your phone. If you are able to get on the internet, that's what I want you to do, to go to hcgop.com. That's our website, hcgop.com. So this website is a work in progress. It's not perfect right now. We are updating it. But hcgop.com, I'll keep saying it, sorry. We want to make sure all of you are getting our weekly email updates. So every Saturday morning, you should get an email with everything that's going on, at least everything we know of that's going on. So always know if you've got an event coming up, you gotta let us know. Ann, raise your hand back there. Ann mans the email, and she will make sure to get it on there. But we need you to sign up with your email address and register to get our weekly emails. That's super important, okay? If any of these goals, you want them to happen, we need We need an army of volunteers and support, and that's the grassroots network that we're talking about. So we need you all showing up. Also, while you're there at hcgop.com, I don't want to let you get off the website without signing up to donate a monthly gift. Here's the deal. It doesn't have to be $1 million. It can be anything that you can sacrificially give to help us reach these goals, okay? When we came into office, there was one monthly gift coming in, one gift a month coming in. My goal is by the end of the year, I would like to have 100 recurring monthly gifts coming to the party so that we know we can fund all of these goals and we will have a bank account to support amazing conservative candidates. So if you can give $10 a month, that's amazing. If you can give $50 a month, even better. Some of you might be able to do more. So whatever God is calling you to give, that would mean a lot to us. Please do that. And do it sacrificially. I personally have already signed up to give a monthly gift to myself. So I will always try to do what I ask anyone else to do. I also want you all to know about some upcoming opportunities that we have. The HCGOP County, the first ever well, I shouldn't say ever. There could have been one in the past that I don't know about. The first ever HCGOP countywide meeting, April 21st. While you got your phone right there, you might as well go to your calendar, put this in. April 21st, Greenway Farms Conference Center, 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. This will be our first countywide meeting. I know everybody can't make it to a daytime club meeting. They don't work for everyone. And I love that y'all have this one once a month so people can come in the evenings. It's wonderful. But we want to make these meetings accessible. If you need to bring your kids, bring your kids. They can play outside. I have teenagers. My son, the other teenagers, they will help. Bring your children. Come. We want to talk to you at that meeting about you guys will probably hear some repeat of what you just heard from me, but we also want to introduce some committee ideas that we're considering getting going. Some committees that we've talked about having within the HCGOP are bylaws committee, an elections committee, an education committee, special events committee, fundraising and membership, volunteers, young Republican outreach and engagement, community outreach and church engagement, and then communications and legislation. So we feel like those are all areas that people are passionate about and they will want to plug in and get involved. So that if you can come to that first meeting, you could fill out an interest form and kind of tell us, hey, this is where my interests lie. The Armed Forces Day Parade is coming up on Friday, May 2nd, and I wanted to give Tanya one moment, if she's okay with it. Just tell people what we need, Tanya, and they'll get it in their email as well.
It's going to be in the email. So Friday, May 2nd is the Armed Forces Day event that's put on by the Chattanooga Area Veterans Council. And so at 9:30 in the morning is going to be the parade, and the Hamilton County GOP has signed up for that. We'd like for you all to come and walk with us. Also, if you want to, you can go on to either through one of the clubs to get a table to go, a chair or a seat at the luncheon. I think the clubs can do the table, and then you can, if you really need an individual seat, you can contact Delmore for that. But anyway, yes, we'd love for you all to come and walk with the group at 9:30 on May 2nd. It's a Friday in the morning, and then the luncheon is at noon at the Convention Center. So if you go to the Chattanooga Area Veterans Council, you can read more about it there, but it's also coming out in your email.
Chattanooga Area Veterans Council. Thank you, Tom. So we would love to have the biggest parade group of walkers. We would love to partner with Pachyderm, the women's clubs. We would love to have all of the clubs walk together if they were interested, because our goal is, we want to be a unified front here. We want to see everybody go, whoa, look at the Republican Party showing up for the Armed Forces Day Parade. The next thing I wanted you to have on your radar is a precinct chairman meeting. Raise your hand if you were able to attend the convention on March 1st, if you were there. Okay, wonderful, such a good number of people. If you were elected a precinct chairman, raise your hand. We have some precinct, awesome. Okay, we have some precinct chairmen. So what we want to do is, some of you may or may not have heard about, the idea of organizing your county or your area, your state by precincts. Precincts are really the way that we can get stronger, because if we have precinct chairmen who can go out and interact with people who live near them and say, hey, this is what we're doing, you want to get involved? Some people just don't know how to get involved. Some people are like me who think they're a good Republican because they show up and they vote Republican in the general election. They don't realize there's this whole other world of Republicanism, for lack of a better way to say it. So I hope that we'll have a lot of precinct chairmen show up, and that meeting is to be determined. I haven't set the specific date yet, but just have it on your radars. May precinct chairman meeting. Lincoln Day dinner, yes, this is probably my biggest question. I promise there are some exciting things in the works. It will be in July and at the Chattanooga, but I cannot give you the date or the speakers yet. But just know, please put it on your radar, and we hope to have an amazing turnout and to sell more tables than ever before. So please start talking to your friends now about that. And lastly, the 2026 elections are right around the corner, and we've got lots of work to do. So please get involved. If you're considering a run for office, please reach out. We would be happy to meet with you and discuss what that entails. And in the meantime, we just would hope that you'll consider joining the club and getting more involved. And I took up 22 minutes with that. Wow, I was planning I was going to talk for 15 and take questions for 15, but maybe this works to my benefit because there's only 8 minutes left for questions, and I know I've been told there might be some people with some questions for me here tonight. So thank you so much for letting me speak, and please ask away. If I can answer, I will. Yes, sir. Please introduce yourself when you ask the question too.
I'm Bill Thomas. I'm on the Pachyderm board, and it sounds great. A lot of good things. I'm excited about all this. A little wary, and if current office holders are not going to be undermined by some star chamber, then strike that, Sarah. And we will support whoever runs for office. I think that's fantastic.
Was there a question?
But to reiterate, your club, the organization is going to recruit new members for these positions, because we've got a lot of Democrat positions that we could target, and I just want to know if that's going to be our primary focus.
Okay, I want to make sure I understand your question correctly. So you're asking me if we are going to target Democrat strongholds?
Yes.
Is that what you're asking me? Well, of course we're going to do that. We would love to be able to gain some ground where ground has been taken, where we have ceded ground. Yes.
And I got your email, and I love the transparent communication, and I look forward to that, and I think it's going to be good.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Yes, ma'am. Please introduce yourself.
I'm Gina Wilson. I was just going to ask if those goals that you listed, which all sound wonderful, will be somewhere on your website.
They are actually right on the website already. So if you want to go read back over them, it should say goals, little red button. Looking at Ann, because she's, yep, okay. Yes, ma'am. So those are all there. Yes. Any other questions? Yes, sir.
I'm Roger Lane. I saw in the paper that Todd Gardenhire said that he may revoke the Hamilton County GOP Charter. Can you explain what that's about?
Well, Todd Gardenhire doesn't have the power to revoke any Hamilton County charter, and I'm sorry that he felt that it was necessary to just say that publicly. I wish he would have reached out to me with a phone call or an email and talked to me about whatever concerns that he has. So I really can't address what he was talking about, but he doesn't, I guess I'm not sure if you just want to know if he has the power to do that or if he does not.
Well, his question was that your criticism was in violation of our...
What criticism?
Your criticism of him and legislation.
Oh, there hasn't been any criticism of Todd Gardenhire. Was it?
It said that you were violating the Hamilton County GOP bylaws. That's what the article said.
Do you have the bylaws? Can you show me where they were violating?
you the Hamilton County Republican Party on Facebook?
Yes, do you have the bylaws and want to talk about a violation of the bylaws? Because I'm happy to do that if you would like to talk about a violation of the bylaws.
I just read it in the Times Free Press, I think.
I actually, believe it or not, I got a phone call from the nice young lady who wrote that article asking me to confirm whether or not there was any violation of the bylaws, and I confirmed that there wasn't. So, so I'm not exactly sure what.
I'll tell you what Clint Cooper said was the violation. Article 8, County Republican Parties. This is Article 8 of the state GOP bylaws. Section 1, county parties shall exist to promote Republican ideals, values, and all Republican elected officials across Tennessee, while at the same time nominating Republican candidates for public office and helping all Republican nominees defeat Democrats in general elections. And Clint kind of emphasized that all Republicans.
Yeah. So we have not violated those bylaws, but I appreciate you bringing that to my attention. Those have not been violated.
Thank you.
Yes, Jane.
So, you and I talk because we're all Republicans, we're all part of HCGOP. It's not a membership or anything like that. You represent everyone. But and this has been since we talked, on your Facebook page, you still took a stance on Senate Bill 799, saying that you oppose it, that that's not representing all Republicans, and then you put a very nasty post on here from Tennessee Stands as part of that post.
Did you watch that video?
I did watch the video.
You did watch, and do you condone that kind of behavior by an elected official to a veteran who traveled to the Capitol to give testimony? Do you condone that behavior?
It doesn't matter.
It does matter. That is our job. That is holding elected officials accountable is my responsibility, and I will stand for that.
I did not get both sides, and that was our discussion. And you're to represent all Republicans. It doesn't matter what I think or what you think. You're to represent the Republican Party.
So Jay, let me respond to that. I believe
But if
that.
you're putting on here, you oppose something, that's not representing the party.
Okay, I'm gonna answer. If it's a question, if you feel like that's okay, I'm gonna answer the question. I do believe that the Republican Party has some clear stances, and those are they're not just in the party platform, but they also are listed on our website, the Tennessee GOP website, Tennessee Republican Party Guiding Principles, okay? So, they're on that Tennessee GOP website, it says, and this is just to reference another one that you had a problem with, it says, we assert the sanctity of human life from conception to natural death, and we affirm that the unborn child has a fundamental right to life which cannot be infringed. So we are going to stand up and speak out if there are issues that are clearly Republican issues that 95% of the base agree on, like illegal immigration. We are going to speak out on those things. That is why we are the Republican Party, because we have to take a stand. Because I think we need to take questions from everyone in the room, and I'll be happy to talk to you. Is there anyone else who has a question? Yes, sir.
I'm Jeff Longtime, treasurer of the Pachyderm Club. How much is the table gonna be, you think, for the Lincoln dinner?
Oh, good question. How much you got?
Quick, roll, bro.
Okay. So here's the deal. I don't want to speak for my committee that is planning the Lincoln Day dinner, but what I want you to know, there will be tiers. The top tier, I believe we're going to start with a few select tables. Will be 5,000. We'll go down to 3,500, and there will be two more levels. I think 2,500 and 1,500. So there will be different sponsorship levels. So mark just down for the $5,000 table. Yes, Sharon.
Okay, since you are the party, and you want conservatives,
I am the party.
yeah, well,
Chairwoman.
the chairwoman.
Yes.
And you have made your conservatism extremely clear tonight.
Would you say Republicans are not conservative?
I would say that most are, and how conservative.
Did you say most are?
Well,
Most? Most?
most.
So representing most most Republicans would be
What
conservative.
happens to people like me who don't always agree with you?
We need people like you, Sharon. We need you.
I didn't hear that.
Well, now you are.
Now you're hearing
I didn't hear that.
Well, let me be clear. Just because we may disagree, and Jane, I should have said this to begin with, so I apologize that I didn't say it better. If you disagree with something that we post, I want you to know that that doesn't mean we want you to walk away from the Republican Party. That might mean that we want you to have a conversation about that issue. And if you disagree, I think it's great that you can post that you disagree. But when 80 or 90% of the party feel one way, I think it's important that we represent the majority of the party. All right, we are at, let's see, 32 minutes. I have gone over my time. Yes, Terry.
One more, and I want to start.
I'm gonna let Terry ask questions. Go ahead, Terry.
Are we
She's
done?
on your
Okay.
side.
Terry.
You mentioned our meetings, our monthly meetings. Are you gonna have them at various locations to reach out to as many people in Hamilton County, or are we gonna
Thank
have
you.
our office?
Yes, I should have said that. I apologize. This first one is at Greenway Farms Conference Center, but there will be meetings all over the county. So next month, if somebody, this is actually a great opportunity to ask. If you have a church or a place where you know that we can have a gathering for a large number of people, it won't have to be affiliated with that church, but they just would need to be willing to let us use that space, or even a community center or somewhere where you know that you gather for events that would be a great place in your community. Please reach out to us. We want to bring the meetings to you. We want you to feel like the Hamilton County Republican Party's in your backyard, and you don't always have to come to, Mountain Creek Road or the Masonic Lodge or wherever, the club meetings are being held. So please reach out to us and let us know, and we'd be happy to do that. All right, well, again, I'm gonna thank you all. I'm happy to stay and talk more and take more questions individually. I really, truly want the people who have been involved in this party and have given so much time and energy and worked tirelessly to make it better. I want those people to know they are important and there is a place at the table, and your opinions and thoughts will not be disregarded, and I hope that you will continue having respectful discourse with me, because we need to work together, and that is my goal for the party. So thank you so much for having me.